They've mastered the art of laughing as I come back. I don't know. One of these days, I'm gonna get to somehow be in on the intro joke. But all right, welcome everybody to an early episode of the Final Split this week. I am going to be out of town doing nerdy things and losing at Smash really badly this weekend, so we decided to squeeze the episode in because it is kind of a big deal. ESA coming up in just a few days and all of that, so we wanted to bring it to you. And also, this is kind of an opportunity to present the show to people who might not get to see us on the weekend. So maybe some of you are new, and maybe you're not. I don't know. Welcome anyway, regardless of how many times you've watched us. Joining us, as always, in the red box, we have Spike Vegeta, giving us a little bit of a scare by showing up just in time. But how's it going?
Close one. It was a long day at work. It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, at least you're here.
I've got one of those restaurant jobs where you're on your feet the whole time. Yeah, I'm here. We made it. Let's do it.
You made it. Let's do it. And in the green box, we have Sinister One, who was actually having some blurred lines on the camera there. But I don't. Are we gonna? Do I get to show the picture at the end of the show, or is that okay? No. It'll never be shown.
The picture is too terrifying. Nobody will ever come back to watch.
Quite possibly one of the best Twitch faces that we'll never ever get to use because it was just so good.
I have. It's all over.
It's already Joke is already spreading it on the internet, and that's why we brought him on this week. He's here to catch the good faces. So
it's the next big meme. It's gonna be one of those ones you can caption and do all that fun stuff with.
Yeah. So anyway, joining us this week as our guest, of course, is Joka. Joka, how's it going?
Pretty well. Pretty tired right now.
Yeah. I hear it's really warm.
Warm.
Yeah.
Late.
Joka, by the way, outside of DreamHack, I believe is our first European guest. Official full episode going international this week. So there we go. How does it feel to be the first?
It's an honor.
There you go.
Truly, truly.
That's right. You beat all the rest of Europe into that blue box. All right, let's
an entire side,
an entire continent, one man. All right, let's go ahead and get this show started, guys. It's time to press start. I knew I'd do that. I did that last week too. Let's try it again. I'm pressing start a second time. There we go.
Oh man.
So good.
Oh man, I told you it's going to be a long one today.
Welcome to the midweek episode.
Yeah, the midweek episodes. I didn't have enough days to prepare. All right, topic to start the show. We've got the 3rd annual Contra Conference coming up. Looks like September 14th is the official start date. Sinister One, do you want to clue us in a little bit? What's going on here? What is the Contra Conference for those of us that...
Contra Conference. I'm going to be there, actually, believe it or not.
Nice.
It's in California, beautiful, sunny California, right near LA. We're going to be playing some video games co-op style. That's the main attraction of the Contra Conference. It's not just Contra.
Sure.
It's also co-op. That's like the main focus. So even though there's Contra being played, pretty much all the runs that are done are co-op. So it's kind of a good way to get community members together to actually knock out some co-op runs. Because co-op runs are really hard to get. You don't usually have enough time and you don't get to practice together and all that kind of stuff. Contra Conference takes care of all that. So DK28, Contra Superstar, of course, he has the world record in NES Contra at the moment, is hosting at his house. There'll be guests such as myself, Mr. K, the mayor. We got Zallard One is going to be there. We've got Maiku Yama coming. We've got Murphy Gator. And, of course, we have Hydeman, a.k.a. Hyde Rage, another Contra aficionado, Super C master that he is. So pretty good guest list. I hope I didn't forget anybody.
Mexican?
Mexican Runner couldn't make it, and Frezzy Man couldn't make it, and Herblat could not make it. So unfortunately, not all of the people that we were hoping would get in could make it. Just scheduling conflicts, being in other country conflicts, etc. So. But yeah, it'll be a good time. It'll be streamed. I believe they're going to stream it on DK28's channel this time around.
And now some of these runs have not only been submitted to SDA, I think, but
well, funny thing about that.
Okay.
They got some really, really good record runs last year that they seem to be happy with, but I think they were not submitted.
Oh,
actually.
they weren't submitted. Okay.
I just read that recently. I need to verify that claim, but I believe that the high standards held by gentlemen such as Mr. K and DK28, they decided to kind of say, let's run it back next year. We'll get a better time.
We'll do better next year. Yeah.
Then we'll submit.
We'll wait an entire year.
Yeah.
To get more tips.
Yeah. No worries whatsoever. We'll do just fine. But now some of these co-op runs now that kind of originate from the Contra Conference then get put into GDQs. Is that not correct?
That's true. Yeah, I mean, some of the Contra runs did get into GDQs. You know, most of the players that are going to be there have done some sort of a co-op run. And other games that'll be featured, you know, Double Dragon 2 is a co-op beat 'em up, if you're not familiar. And I'm going to be playing that with DK28. We may be trying to get a record. I have currently the record with JProfit 22, and we might try to beat that. So.
Okay.
We'll get on that. There's going to be some Contra 3 low percent action going on. Might be some Super C going on. I'm trying to think of some of the other co-op games that'll be thrown out there, but there'll be more games. So, you know, and it's low key. It's fun. It's not for charity or anything like that.
Right.
This is strictly just for fun and enjoyment. So hopefully
this is a bunch of you guys getting together and enjoying the same set of games. Yes, absolutely. Now, is this more than one day?
Oh yeah. This is a whole week.
Oh, a whole week of Contra.
I think we're starting on the 14th, and it'll run through the 21st.
Okay.
I believe so. Not everybody's going to be there the entire time. Like, I'm going to be there maybe for like 3 or 4 days, and then I think most of the other people will probably be there most of the time, though. So, yeah, should be fun. Should be entertaining. Should be some world records set. Can't beat that.
I like that. That sounds good to me.
And is this the sort of thing where you guys have any sort of a set schedule? Or is it just kind of, I guess we're going to jump up and do our stuff. We'll do ours for a few hours, and then you go.
Yeah, there's a little flexibility there. They have a general, schedule is not the right word.
Agenda,
they have
maybe?
Yes, agenda. Thank you, Golden. That's exactly where I was looking there. But they have an agenda as in, you know, we want to get this run done. We want to get this run done. We want to get this run done. But as far as actually scheduling, it's going to be more like what Spike said, where, you know, they'll start out doing one run. People will get burned out on doing attempts. Okay, let's scrap that for a while. You know, you guys get on, do this. And so there'll be a lot of round robin kind of stuff. And I'm sure there'll be fun games too. I'm sure they'll make, you know, Zallard and I play Punch Out and stuff like that.
Sure. So
you'll get to see just random games that we play. Mike Uyama, you know, they'll probably make him play Subterranea or something crazy, you know. So maybe, hey, co-op Turtles in Time.
There you go.
Hey, that's what I want to watch.
People always ask for that run, so maybe you'll finally get to see it.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun, and you know, it's still a little ways out there. Is this? I guess one other question about it is: this kind of like open to anybody, or is it kind of an invite only thing? Like, how do you get picked to be there?
Right now, it is invite only, and that's strictly because of space limitations.
Sure.
And, you know, like DK28, he's hosting this at his house. We're not going to be at a hotel or anything like that, so you know, it's got to be relatively small. I don't know about potential for growth. I mean, I guess it could grow to be a little bit bigger, but it's going to be a lot more slow growth, I think, because this is, you know, they've been doing this for a while now.
Right.
It's grown a little bit each time, but not very much.
Yeah, no, I kind of like this idea of some of these events staying small just for the purpose of, I think that helps keep the focus of it too.
Yes.
You know, if it starts to grow bigger and then more and more games get added that aren't necessarily specific to Contra, then it kind of loses that flavor, that original purpose, I guess. So
definitely,
it's interesting. Looking forward to it. Anybody else have thoughts on the Contra Conference?
I just love I was just gonna say, I just love like you say, the focus of it. It kind of takes a very small piece of what you get at a GDQ, where beyond this huge event with all this broad, we're going to raise $1 million for charity. There's hundreds of games that happen here. Now it's just, it's a group of maybe 10 or 15 people in a community who want to just get together and speed run the game that they all share a connection with. So there's not all this other stuff going on.
Right.
So almost kind of jealous of it, to be honest. So it's cool you guys get to do that.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
You're going to be going to a similar one in the coming months, right? You're going to the DeuceCon.
Oh yes, which
You'll
again
get
is a little more general event, but it is just cool to hang out with some people. But
still more of a
specifically, like, you
hangout
guys are-
than
right.
Smaller scale, just get together. I like that idea. I hope there's more of that just throughout the community.
I agree.
All right, let's move on, guys, and let's talk about this week's big plays. It's been a while since we've had one of these, actually, but that's mostly because we've just been showing other stuff. So this one was submitted a while ago, and this is Alta Biscuit playing Superstar Saga. This is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, a game that is very similar in mechanics to Super Mario RPG. It's an RPG with action elements to it. And what we're seeing here is the final boss fight of the game. And again, just like you would expect from Mario RPG, using the hammer here to repeatedly chain Mario into the boss for a lot of damage. Interesting thing to note about this game, actually, I mean, this is a really broken game to the point where more than half the game can get skipped to get to the final boss early. And what we're seeing here is just kind of the finishing move. There's more to this fight, but what he's trying to do is count the number of times he chains Mario into the boss, because the game won't automatically end the fight if he does enough damage. So he needs to keep track of how much damage he's done and how many times he's actually throwing Mario into the boss. There's a lot of math involved. But also timing.
I thought this was a great highlight for us to feature this week, because I've been doing, a lot of pre-hype, I'd say, for HDQ Games topic, and everyone, of course, has been hyped about having Super Mario RPG go down at HDQ possibly, but everyone's also been talking about this getting an appearance as well. I think runs of this game are down to like an hour and a half. So, and it has not been featured yet, so a lot of people have been talking about somebody offering this. So,
probably gonna happen.
Yeah, with all the skips and everything found in it looks like definitely an interesting choice, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, people always have kind of wondered, what makes an RPG a good submission for a marathon, and I think this game has that pacing that some of the other RPGs lack and kind of struggle with, when you go to submit an RPG and it's 7-8 hours. And, it might be interesting, but if there's nothing significant going on for that 7-8 hours, then it's kind of a harder sell. I feel like this is action-packed from the beginning. Lots of decision-making involved and kind of cool strategies, too. You notice there he's on 1 health with both of his characters, amplifying the damage, I believe. He's kind of got one of those like critical things going on where the less health he has, more damage he does, something like that.
Kind of similar to the Paper
I could be
Marios,
completely
yeah.
making that up, but I
think
believe that's what's going
sure.
on there. But in any case, an interesting run, and actually that submission, when he first submitted it, it was one of his PBs, but we actually checked and improved his PB another minute. So that was a more recent highlight than the one that was actually submitted, but
good.
Nonetheless a cool game. And yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I think it'd be an interesting game to see at a marathon at some point. Always was one of my favorite games on the Game Boy Advance anyway. I never played the other Mario and Luigi's,
and that's the first of the Superstar sagas or whatever.
Yeah, Mario and Luigi's. Yeah, yep. So then you got your Partners in Time. You got your, I think, like Dream Team is the other one, and then Bowser's Inside Story. So yeah, there's a couple other ones in the series, but I think as far as speedrunning goes, that's kind of the most prominent, I guess, as far as just how busted it is. But that could just be me making it up again too. I don't know. In any case,
it's pretty busted. But
yeah, it looks like a fun game. It looks like there's shades of Super Mario RPG in it. Just how the speedrun plays out. So thanks for submitting that clip. And again, just a reminder to everybody, if you want to submit a clip, whether it's a big play, a glitch please, any of that, our lovely social media on the left here gives you ways to do that. So if you've got a highlight, send it to our email, and then check us out on all these other Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all of that. Keep in touch with the show. But let's move on. Let's talk to Joka, because Joka is our guest of the week. And for those of you that don't know, Joka's got quite the Mega Man repertoire, I guess you could say.
To say the least.
I was trying to think of like some fancy word to describe, because if there's a Mega Man game, odds are Joka's not only played it, but he's got a time in it. Is that not true? Like, do you want to disagree with me on that? But
how about Mega Man 6?
Most of them. I have a time in Mega Man 6, yeah. Not a good one, but I have a time.
Has a time.
But yeah, I haven't played most of the other series other than classic. Like Zero, never touched any Zero game, for instance. So there's still a lot to play through.
What was the first Mega Man game that you ran?
Mega Man 2.
Mega Man 2.
Like the first game I ran at all.
Okay.
And do you have a favorite out of the NES Mega Mans?
2 is good. 2 is really good.
Good pick.
5
Good
is
pick.
really good.
Now, do you find that certain games are in the Mega Man series are easier to watch than others? Because I find, like, depending on what it is, like 5 is a game I will watch. I like watching 5. 6 is a game I will play. I don't watch 6.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, most of the Mega Man games have something unique about them, something interesting, at least in the classic series that I know of. But some are more boring to watch, especially if you don't run the game yourself or have played it.
Mm-hmm.
Like 6 is, to me, really boring to watch.
I think that's a pretty common opinion.
There's like some few cool parts, but it's, especially when you don't know how hard it is to slide in 6, it kind of takes away from it.
Sure.
So 7 is also kind of boring. Just looks like a bunch of young shield everywhere.
And do you think that with all these classic Mega Man games kind of, I think, getting more attention, do you think some of the other sub-series, maybe I guess the X series would be comparable, but do you think some of the other sub-series get lost as a result, or other spin-off series?
Lost? No, I think the leaderboard helped with that a little bit, at least, to shine some light on the smaller series like the Legends series.
Mm-hmm.
That's like no runners yet. If you want a time on the leaderboard, a good time.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. So, what motivated you to create Mega Man leaderboards? What was kind of your inspiration for that?
We were talking on IRC, as I recall it at least, that it would be cool to have something like this Zelda speedrun leaderboard for Mega Man.
Okay.
So I just threw something together with focus on being as simple as possible. Like, it has to be simple, otherwise people won't use it.
Sure. If it's
and also
made
made it so that admins can submit other people's times, because the Japanese players aren't gonna submit their times right away, so on.
Sure. So just having ways to keep the boards updated as much as possible was an important decision.
And I just made it for the classic series to start with.
Okay.
And then I added in X kind of early, and then the other ones. I guess if I add X, I have to add the other ones too.
Sure.
Yeah, and I mean, now it's at the point where, I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say that anybody that's in the Mega Man community and wants to know, how does my time stack up, they're actually all kind of using Mega Man leaderboards at this point to reference. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say that the community trusts the site, and then at the same time, that's got to be
a little bit too much sometimes.
Too much sometimes. What do you mean by that?
It's not completely up to date, at least not for the smaller series like Legends.
Sure.
But people trust it too much. Like, oh, I'm number one. It's like, we haven't really
right.
Maybe
maybe you're number one, but
exactly.
Okay. But for the most part, I mean, I think the people involved with it do a good job of, maintaining the games that they know a lot about, and verifying the runs that get submitted seems to happen pretty quickly. So outside of Mega Man leaderboards itself, you also are in charge of organizing the relay races. What brought those about? When did you decide that was going to be
It's kind of the same thing. I think it was during one of the 46 Robot Monster races we talked on Skype, like different race IDs, and the relay race was one of them, I think. We just talked about would be cool to have like Japan versus the rest of the world, but that is not gonna happen. It's too much to organize that.
Sure.
So I just, well, what if we just throw something together? I mean, we can have like a few people that can play lots of games each, would be fine. And that's how the first one started. Pretty much, I just made a post on SDA. I think we had someone play 3 games, but that's about it.
And now they've grown kind of to the point where you're lucky if I guess you're not lucky, but you're almost not even expected to play 2 games because so many people are offering games for them now. And I think when it started, it was just 2 teams, correct?
Yeah, the first one was 2 teams.
And now we're up to, it looks like 3?
Possibly. Yeah, it was 3 last time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little bit tougher with this one because we only have 2 Mega Man 9 runners so far.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. There's the call out if anybody wants to offer an
somebody's
incredible. It was actually they traded places back and forth.
Yeah, because
they were absolutely synced on my stream through the whole last stage.
Because if I remember correctly, that was Used Pizza was trying to bring his team back in 9 and 10, correct? Like they were down by like 30 seconds or something.
Yep.
And then over the course of 2 games, he brought it back and made it really close.
That was sort of the plan too. Like when you balance it, you can't have people equally matched in all games. That would be insane.
Sure.
So you have to have like weaker players in 7 on one team, and then weaker player on 9 on the other team.
Right. You're looking at the big picture more than just game by game. You're trying to make sure that the whole team is balanced.
Yeah. If you balance it, try to balance it game by game, you won't have an even race at the end, I think. It's gonna be really hard. At least when people are playing multiple games, so you can't split them up and put them on different teams. And
now, Joka, I have to ask you. I am a big advocate for kind of new things going down at the GDQs. I know you guys are trying a lot of new things with ESA. To all the GDQ marathon organizers, why is a relay race a good idea for one of the GDQs?
No,
how can you
defend?
It's not. No. Okay.
Sorry, Spike.
Don't highlight this episode.
I do.
No.
I just think it's gonna be really hard for the viewers to follow what's happening if it's a relay race. It's like casual viewers. Yeah, you're gonna have a really hard time explaining what's really going on. It's like more than 3 games. Then there's and plus you have that kind of big race thing where it's kind of likely that one team will get ahead by like 15-20 minutes at the end, and then there's no excitement whatsoever.
So maybe instead of the relay race, just the idea of several consecutive races, like if you did a Mega Man 2 race with 3 or 4 people, then a Mega Man 3 race to kind of follow it up. Does that style seem to fit a marathon better in your opinion? Or
yeah, definitely. Then you kind of renew the excitement for each game, sort of.
So
I would like to try like a relay race for like 2 or 3 games, if that was like maybe short games like DuckTales or something. But yeah, it would still be kind of tricky, I think.
So I guess like the biggest fear then is just the possibility of one team just getting too far ahead of the other team. Something goes wrong for one player and then the whole team.
Yeah, I think so. Plus, if you want to have like for the Mega Man series, you would have another problem, which is switching systems between games. which is kind of hard for setup and so on. I think it shouldn't
Now,
really be good.
what about this? Just throwing this out there in terms of making the switching stuff easier. What if you just have power packs, and then that way it's much easier to switch between at least for the ones that are on NES. That would definitely take care of that. Obviously, with 9 and 10, you got to go a different route, and I guess 7 as well.
7 and 8.
7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. But 1 through 6, that would kind of really even things out. You would just make a folder on Power Pack that had all the Mega Mans, and it's just like, boom, you go in there and get it.
Yeah, you could have a 1 to 6 race could work really well from a tech point of view, but then it's still gonna be like 4-hour race.
Right. For Relay, I think that would really, then the tech crew can't really complain like, oh, there's all this, it's like, no, we just have three Power Packs and 3 NESs. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's an interesting idea, and obviously part of the challenge would be trying to bring everybody together in one place that's capable of playing those games on an equal level. I mean, it's one thing to say, let's bring in 4 really talented DKC runners, and it's another thing to say, let's bring in 4 really talented DKC 1, 2, and 3 runners. So same kind of thing would apply, but Mega Man obviously having even a bigger library.
Sure. It's definitely got to be a series that kind of earns it, and hopefully you've got enough manpower, and that's the thing to worry about. But all I'm saying is, judging from your last relay, you guys went over the course of 10 games, and it came down to seconds. It ended up being very close at the very end. I don't know. I think this is definitely something in the future that a GDQ can consider, and I think your relay is a good advocate for that.
I'm gonna say that either Mega Man or possibly Ninja Gaiden.
Okay.
Hey,
that
could work.
Might be another one.
And that's another. I mean, what, a Ninja Gaiden trilogy race is like 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was probably maybe even that sounds about right. Yeah.
Interesting. I want to move on.
Like I would see that you test it with like a few games first, like a shorter.
Sure.
Total runtime.
Sure. Like keeping it short so that, worst case scenario, maybe the team's a minute or 2 behind. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic nonetheless. I think it would be cool to try out once.
Yeah, sure.
Let's talk a little bit about the runs that you're preparing for ESA. Do you want to just remind everybody what you're running and maybe give us some insight? What's causing you trouble? What are you looking forward to?
First game is Bubble Ghost. I've never played a game that little.
Okay.
For a marathon, it's such a serious speed game. It's basically just it sort of ended up being like a transition between a scary game block and Kirby. So,
okay.
Yeah, whatever. It's an awesome game. It's at like 6 a.m. in the morning, so yeah.
Interesting.
Then I have 2 big Mega Man games, or long Mega Man games, Mega Man 8 and ZX, or CX, or however you say it.
Oh.
Us silly Americans and our Z.
Yeah. And then there's Chip and Dale at the end, which turned out to be a race and not co-op. I'm sorry about that.
Not to derail this whole thing, but just I wanted to get your thoughts real quick. There was a run submitted to SDA recently, a Chip and Dale run, and just can you go ahead and maybe explain on that a little bit? It was an all levels run.
I was just really surprised that someone submitted a run, so I made a post. That one could be interpreted as not very nice, apparently. But I was just really surprised that once someone submitted it that we don't know about, and that it got accepted, even though it has a death in it, apparently.
Right, which for a game that's how short is it? I mean, what kind of length are we talking about in that game?
Should be really close to 13 minutes, but this was a bit over 14.
Uh-huh.
Like, even without seeing the run, I would have declined that. But,
right. So it ended up being that there was two verifiers voted for approving it, and 1 rejected it. So then it ended up getting approved before there was a whole lot of discussion about it, I guess.
Yeah. That's and when we responded to it, we got the response back like, "Oh, why don't you just submit one then? That's better."
Yes. Which, because do you have the record for?
Nadu has the record.
Nadu has the
Nadu
record.
is the chapter name.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, it's
And
basically the. Go ahead.
It's his decision, I guess, if he wants to submit to SD or not. But I
Right.
know he records everything locally, or not everything, but most of the stuff locally, so he could.
I think the good thing that came out of it was the runner said that he was going to go ahead and improve it at least.
Yeah, the runner reacted really well. It was other people that didn't react so well. to the
Right.
response.
All right.
The
moving
runner
on.
seemed like a really awesome guy. Said he was definitely gonna work on it more. I watched his stream a little bit, gave him some tips.
Yeah,
So-
I think we should get a deathless here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like something that could be fixed pretty easily, or just a few more runs could replace it. So I guess going back to the runs that you're going to do at ESA, is there one in particular that you're looking most forward to?
Mega Man 8. It's gonna be fun to do. It's kicking off the classic Mega Man block since we reversed the chronological order.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were thinking Mega Man 1 is the biggest one, so we want to build up to that instead of starting out with that. I don't know. See if it works out.
I kind of like that because I mean, usually it always has gone, the traditional order. You go like 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever. But
yeah, and Mega Man 1 gets a better time slot than Mega Man 8 as well. So no complaints. But Mega Man 8, I'm looking forward to that, especially if we get the cutscenes donated in. It's really fun.
Those cutscenes are pretty good. That's a pretty good donation incentive.
So. Mega Man CX is gonna be really interesting. There's so many places. There's so many odd situations you can end up in that game that you have to play the whole game a lot to know how to get out of those. Like you can end up at bosses without any weapon energy left, and you like have to beat them with only the standard weapons or whatever. So yeah, that's
interesting.
Interesting.
So it's going to be a very reactionary run. You have to respond to.
Yeah, since it's like an open world Mega Man game, which for this it basically only means that you don't get weapon refilled after you kill a boss or between each mission. So you have to like rely on drops to refill your energy.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to kind of route around that.
Yeah, so you're always thinking about like what happens if I don't have a drop by this point.
Exactly.
Interesting. I like that. So I guess one other question I have for you outside of ESA, we got to talk to you a little bit at DreamHack. How was, in retrospect now, how was DreamHack versus maybe like an ESA? How did DreamHack go for you?
It's a completely different thing. I was expecting sort of a serious marathon vibe, but it wasn't. It was fun for what it was, but I wouldn't have taken it so seriously and prepared for it that much if I knew what it was.
Sure.
Put a lot of time into the games, and I don't know.
It ended up being
just really hard to concentrate, and we had tons of tech problems and tons of people missing or showing up late to runs. And it's not like at a marathon where you like, oh, this guy's run is coming up, let's make sure he knows that, and then you just go to the practice room or the food room, and he's probably in one of those two places. But if someone is missing at DreamHack, you won't find them.
That's too big, yeah.
Yeah, no. And you can't call them either, because they probably won't hear the cell phone.
Yeah, it's a very noisy environment, and you guys were right in the middle of all of it too. I mean, you were just surrounded by PCs and Monster energy drinks and who knows what else.
Also, if it's gonna happen again, I will make sure to book a hotel room.
Oh, okay.
Next time.
Were you one of them sleeping in the
Were
hallway
you in
there?
the flicky corner?
I didn't fit.
He didn't fit.
You didn't fit.
So I one of the nights I slept actually in front of one of the TVs, like in our area, with all the lights and everything.
Oh
Wow.
man.
Like I'm just gonna move this couch a little bit.
I just remember Flicky like had the webcam. He lifted it up for us and showed us like 4 people sleeping on top of each other just in the corner. Like this is the only space we got.
Always someone there. They have like a sleeping area which is really nice, like quiet, dark, cold. People guarding everyone's stuff and so on. People making sure that it's quiet, but it was obviously full like all the time. It was also a queue, which was really weird. Like you're waiting in line to be able to sleep.
We're gonna give you slot number 6 now. Go over there, sir.
Yeah.
Like it's
like you have to wait until someone has slept.
Oh man.
Done sleeping.
You're taking turns to sleep. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know. That's news to me. That's exciting.
Sounds like it's a good idea to get a room.
At the end of the day, let's just get a hotel. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we're going to have more opportunities to ask questions to Joke at the end of the show. So if you guys in chat have questions about, Mega Man or ESA, whatever it is, save those questions for the end of the show, and we'll try to read them. But for now, let's move on. Let's talk Record Setter. This is one that actually was very last minute. It happened very recently and wasn't actually on our plans to talk about, but it is kind of a big deal. This is Stelzig breaking the 120 shine record for Super Mario Sunshine. And this is a kind of a big week for speedrunning in general, just as far as the number of records that have been beaten. And not only that, but number of prominent records. I kind of think of this one as one that's been contested for a while. And it's a long run. It's an endurance, a test of endurance. In this particular shine here, Stelzig actually, prior to the clip being shown, had died right away at the start of the secret, so there was a little bit of a mistake and room for improvement there. But again, this is a game that's 3 hours long, and fortunately for him, the death occurred very early on in this shine, so he was able to suffer only minimal losses there. But you can just kind of see some of the sweet movement.
Yeah, for all the love that's always thrown around about Mario 64 and how it's a Mario speed game, I've always thought this game looked incredibly fun to run. Just looks incredibly fun in just controlling Mario. So, and this is actually, because that is another topic I brought up in my SGDQ Games Review show. Well, I asked, what are 100% runs that you'd like to see make an appearance in the GDQs? And a lot of people are big advocates for Mario Sunshine 120 Star Shine, or 120 Shine getting into a GDQ at some point. So, might be a little mini preview, who knows?
Yeah, it's interesting. I believe Sunshine is on the ESA schedule, correct?
Yes.
And what is the category that's being done there?
Any percent.
It is any percent. Okay. Yeah, I think Sunshine's a popular one with runners themselves too. Just like the atmosphere for Sunshine runs, there's always a good crowd in the room watching it. There's always good reception, I think, from the the Twitch audience as well. So yeah, it's an interesting one. It's I think it's less than a day old at this point, and I believe it's about a minute improvement. I could be wrong on that specific detail, but I want to say it's about a minute improvement over his previous PB. So feel free to tell me I'm wrong in chat or whatever, but that is one of many records that happened this week. And actually, we're going to kind of break down some of the other records that happened in Real Talk here. Starting with a topic that hits home here, I think, with our panel, Rockman Nation. And what I mean by that is that this week we saw a few improvements in the Mega Man world. Ohan improved Rockman 5 for Japan, and then meanwhile Cypher reclaimed Rockman 2 for the USA.
USA.
There we go. Get your USAs. So
well, that's what it is at this point. It definitely feels like I don't want to be. I I don't want to say the wrong thing, but just almost like an Olympic gold, like a medal count of sorts you're dealing with here, where you are talking about, all right, Japan took back 5, USA took back 2, a little playful, but I do think it means something. I think there's a certain amount of pride within the community, considering Mega Man's so big by itself, and you've got runners from all over the world. It's exciting to watch. I like to keep track of the medal count of sorts.
And Europe has how many?
But to say,
I think it's 2.
2?
You got 2? Nice.
Yeah,
there you go.
2. We have 2. We have Mega Man 1.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty tough to beat us in Mega Man 1. And 9, I think.
Yeah, 9, and I was going to say it's pretty
for
uncontested.
time.
Yeah, so I like this. I like this idea of it kind of being a national thing where it's like you're taking the record back, and it's not only for yourself, but at the same time it's also kind of a national thing. Like I brought it back to the United States, or I took it from Japan, or they took it from us.
It's kind of funny. I was toying with the idea of making, or just toying. I had no plans on actually doing it, but having a relay race, 3-way relay race between Europe, America, and Japan.
Ooh,
That sounds really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
and
it.
I started like picking people and making teams, and then I quickly realized that it's not a good idea for us.
Oh,
For
have, like,
and of course Japan's team, it's like Ohan.
no, I did the limits. I did the 2-game limit.
Two-game limit,
Ohan only
okay.
had 2 games.
Oh,
Okay.
They still had like a bunch of
There we go.
like these.
It'd be a little unfair.
Ohan versus the world.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
No, I think that regardless of what the final times might be, I think that would still be a lot of fun just to
No.
mix it up. But in any case, going record by record here. Let's start with Rockman 5. Is anyone do you have thoughts on the record itself? Do you have thoughts on Ohan? What do you think about this record?
It was only a matter of time, considering how his old record looked. Like for him, he had a bunch of big mistakes. Lots of big part of the run was amazing, obviously, but he had a few big mistakes that
Mm-hmm.
looks really odd in a record of a classic Mega Man game. So yeah, it was kind of, if he just played the game, he was gonna beat it eventually. It doesn't really
Sure.
practice.
I think to me the bigger thing there's a couple of things that I take away from Ohan's run in particular. The first of all is he beat the record twice in the same day, and he did it in a total of 16 attempts.
That's nuts.
You think about your own runs and how many times you go through, maybe it's hundreds.
Don't know how much he practices before.
That's the thing. It obviously I would assume he was doing a lot of practice prior to going live, but just the consistency is ridiculous. His execution is there every time. Occasionally he slips and hits a spike or something, has to start over. But when he gets a run going, he finds a groove.
This is a guy that has been playing or running Mega Man for like 4 or 5 years, though.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get some consistency if
Yeah.
you do that.
No, I just thought that.
Yeah, it's amazing. You don't want to compete with Ohan.
No.
He wants to compete with you.
Yeah, you really don't. Unless
He's not a
you know.
very competitive guy, though, so you can just.
Well, so let me ask: do you think he was planning on going back to Rockman 5 all along, or was it motivated by he starts to see like BJW is improving, he's getting a good time? There's other people interested in the game as well.
Hard to tell. I want to say it has something to do with BJW tying his old time. Like, oh, I better just beat this one then. But I don't know. Well, when he gets a time he's happy with, he's not gonna play the game anymore.
Sure.
Even someone.
he got that from Hoda Ruby, I think.
Yeah, like in Mega Man 3 or 4, it's probably very low on his list.
Sure. But this was one that he kind of already had it, and there was a general consensus that okay, this run has its mistakes and it's going to be improved. So maybe he looked at that as okay, well, I'll be the one to improve it then. But so anyway, aside from that point, the second thing that I'm actually just more excited about in general about this run is the fact that he's streaming again, because he kind of took a long break, as far as I know. I think the last thing he was playing was Castlevania 3. Was he doing Sypha? Was that the last thing he was doing?
That sounds
Yeah,
right.
he's kind of missing. I don't know what. It's hard with these Japanese. You don't really.
Meanwhile, he's kind of like doing the Billy Mitchell, but he's going to perform it live. Like, he doesn't have the video ready to go. He's just waiting. Oh, okay.
It's also possible that he just gets burnt out. I mean, the guy plays so many speed games at a high level that he must have to practice a ton.
Yeah.
Like, nobody can just be that good naturally. Like, you have to practice and grind it out. So he probably just is like, oh, I just need to take a break.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Cypher's run. What are your thoughts about that?
God gamer. Dude, Cypher, he like made one mistake in the run, and I think that was all he said after he got the run. Everybody else was like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest run ever." Cypher's like, I missed this one thing, and it's like, but that's the human element, man. Like, you almost have to have one mistake in a speed run. You can't just have like a speed run, especially a game that complicated and difficult. Like, I think it would be almost impossible to just have the perfect run.
That's almost the way that Choka's run looked before. Like, from what I've heard and from what I've seen,
right?
It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just amazing that someone beat it that quickly.
Yeah, and it was by a significant amount too. It wasn't like a small amount. It wasn't just like, oh, I beat it by 1 or 2 seconds. And then Cypher said he's not done. He's going to continue at some point and try to get the 26.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be even that much more amazing. I mean, I don't really find this to be a game where like a whole lot of stuff is going to be found. I think
what's
they
pretty
close to a bunch of like, oh, I can save 2 frames here.
Yeah. The amount of frames remaining to be saved is not...
It's dwindling.
Yeah, it's running
dwindling
out.
Quick.
The bank is running out. But no, I think that's really impressive. And I think for me, Rockman 2, like the back and forth is the most interesting part of that. It's just, the constant battle between, whether it's Shoka or Elo or Cypher. I mean, right now that is kind of a game that is thriving with its competition.
It almost felt like Shoka killed it when he got his run. And I think it was really a shame that he used the auto fire. Cypher has written tons of stuff about this. You can look it up on the leaderboard, but he used 10 hertz auto fire in some spots, which isn't really an advantage. You can mash faster than that, but still it makes some of the parts more consistent. So, but it was still an amazing run. But yeah, so they obviously wanted to beat that, just so that the record doesn't have any auto fire in it.
You got to feel for Elo, because I think he just had tied Cypher. Like, he literally just tied him, and then Cypher goes and is just like, nope.
sorry, buddy. Like,
I can't tell if Elo really got disappointed or relieved.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe he felt free after that. Like, all right, I don't have to.
That's what he said, at least.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's running zipless now for some reason.
There we go. Zipless. Somebody was saying, I saw earlier in the week, they're saying it's like zipless is when you're in denial about how hard the game actually is. Like, when you get sick of all the zips and you're frustrated, you're like, all right, I'll play zipless now.
Dude, zipless is so much more frustrating.
Is it really?
But yeah, when you're trying to do the optimal everything.
So zipless is actually worse than zips.
That's surprising.
In terms of optimizing the
zipless is bad. Let's just put it.
Zipless is bad. All right, that's a good note to wrap that up.
First 2 stages. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some other records that happened. Obviously, these are the ones that everyone's heard about and everybody knows about. But I guess I'm going to try and ask a different angle on these ones this time around. So obviously, Cosmo with the 1810 Ocarina of Time. People saying any percent is dead. And then Puncation improving Super Mario 64 again, but had the death in the sky. So multiple times he's been on 142 pace, and it seems like anytime you tune in, he's got a shot at it. What of these two games, looking at their current state, which one's more impressive to you and why? Like, what jumps out at you between these two Titan games?
Current state?
Current state, Sinister 1, what do you think?
I'm pretty sure you got to go with OOT at that point. I mean, Cosmo is one of the more prolific runners of our time, and if he's that satisfied with a run, when are speedrunners ever satisfied? Seriously. Like, when have you ever seen a speedrunner that wasn't like, I could beat that. Oh, my run's improvable. It's good, but
yeah,
it's like, no, this is the run. This is it.
This is it. And I've done what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean, he had like one small mistake in the run, which cost, I think he said, like 4 seconds or something like that. And outside of that, it was just ungodly.
He beat his goal by like 9-10 seconds or something.
Yeah. So he didn't even think that was like a realistic thing, and then it just happened. And the funny thing is, though, I think it's kind of ironic because out of a lot of these records, I think that this one has the most potential to get beat just on the fact that OOT just constantly seems to get broken even
There's always
further.
something new.
So
Yeah.
it's like somebody's just going to find something to make this, not relevant. I don't want to use that word, but somebody's going to find something to make this run beatable.
Right. There'll be the next skip, and
Cosmo.
3 months from now, the game will have a time of like 12 minutes, and no one will care about the 1810. No, I don't know.
I mean, I hope not, but it just seems like that's the progression. Like, this game. So, yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like bouncing off what you just said. I'm not even a big Ocarina of Time speedrunning fan, I would say. I'm not against it, but I usually won't sit down and watch a run. Any of you, if you have the time, which you should be able to find, it's 18 minutes, go sit down and watch this run. Just watching, the dips and everything, and Cosmo's emotions, if nothing else, as he's going through it. It's one of, I just think, the most exciting speedrun VODs you can find in recent memory.
And there's also the follow up too, because he posted the emotional follow up, so you got to watch that too.
Oh wow, no, I haven't even seen that.
Oh, there you go. That's the viewing party, after party.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of agreeing with you in the sense that I think obviously the state of Ocarina of Time right now, like as a speedrun, I think that game is at its pinnacle as far as this is pretty close to perfection from a human player, right?
Sub 18 could happen.
It could happen. But I'm just thinking between the two, like a Super Mario 64, obviously, like that 142 hasn't been pushed yet. I guess the reason I would argue for Super Mario 64 here instead of OOT is just I think we're starting to see a little bit of a comeback from Siglemic as far as just the motivation. I've seen him racing a few times with Puncation. I like that element of competition. Ocarina of Time doesn't have that at the moment. Maybe it happens sometime in the future, but I just feel like with that vast improvement, it's kind of like, okay, there's Cosmo and then there's everybody else. And right now it's like there's Puncation, but Siglemic's still around. He's not gone yet.
Completely out of the picture.
Right. So I like that element of it, I guess. Joker.
I don't really know much about any of these games at all, but how this Super Mario 64 community and IQ, where do they stand on that? I think Mario 64 should be one of the games you can play on IQ, right?
I don't think anyone has played it on the IQ.
I don't think so. I definitely think it's the IQ is a very small library. It's only like 13 games for it. I know they threw around like Paper Mario possibly being done on IQ. I think Star Fox 64 and Lilat Wars, I think that's supposedly on there. I would assume Mario 64, obviously. It's, the quintessential N64
game.
Should be. Yeah.
And I mean, it seems to make a big difference. Like if it does, I think it was somewhere like 12, 13 seconds in OOT or something like that. I don't know. And that's like just 18, 19 minutes. But does it do over 143? It's going to make a huge difference. If I don't know. Just speculating here.
Well, you're definitely... And you're definitely opening up a can of worms. I'm just telling you right now.
Sure,
because
sure.
They won't even accept VC in the SM.
Right. Well, and that's kind of, I was going to say, maybe an interesting element about that community is just, I feel like everybody that's reached a certain threshold of skill level in that game has almost not entirely, but has almost acknowledged that, like, we want to do this on N64. There's something about the N64 that's just like this gives us extra justification if we do it on N64. And it's not everybody. Like I know like CP Kaka, for instance, I think plays on VC and has a really high time for 120.
But that's one of the things I like, though. It's like it's not just gonna be a few people deciding what counts and what doesn't count. It always comes down to what people care about.
Sure.
Like, if people just don't care about runs on IQ, no one is gonna do them. And even if some leaderboards allow the times and list the IQ times as the highest or the best ones, no one's gonna care about them. It doesn't matter. Everyone's series is gonna run on N64 either way. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's interesting. I think both of these games have something to look forward to, but I guess Ocarina of Time has finally reached its time, and Super Mario 64 is maybe heading there soon.
The one other great thing to note about SM64 right now, probably a lot of people only know, it's Puncation and Siglemic, and that's the whole storyline. When they've been racing, there's actually been quite a few people. There's like 5 or 6 of them that do the 120-star races, and it's not like it's Puncation, Siglemic, and then everybody else. Like, I think last night Siglemic came in like 5th place in the race. There are a lot of people who are starting to creep their way up. For years there it was Siglemic, and then it was everybody else, so it didn't really matter to a lot of people. Puncation is maybe only the first person who has really broken through to that next level of the game, and we might be mere months away, maybe even sooner, to seeing a lot more competition pop up, even if it isn't Siglemic. So, yeah, I mean, the 142 is a given. A lot of people are probably salty for Puncation. He's salty enough for himself, I'm sure, that didn't go down the other night. But there's, I think, a lot that's actually about to happen in the SM64 speedrunning scene.
Yeah,
so,
I think, once that 142 does happen, that's going to be the talk of the town for sure. So.
For sure.
Not to use a really boring cliche, but I just did. So
the talk of the town.
It's going to be the talk of the speedrunning town. I'm going to walk down the speedrunning streets and talk to my speed friends.
What are you, 60?
I guess, yeah. We'll go to the speed tavern and have a speed drink. I don't. Whatever, let's move on. All right, we've clearly exhausted that one. ESA, guys. ESA is the big topic, I think, anyway. Coming up in just a few days now. We're going to, first of all, point out to everybody on the stream that there are going to be 2 streams for ESA if you're not aware. Twitch.tv/Ledendi and Twitch.tv/ESA. Both of them running the majority of the event.
Blue and yellow stream. Oh, yeah.
Blue and yellow? Is that what they are?
Yeah, they're called Blue and Yellow Stream.
Blue and Yellow Stream, okay.
Yes. I like that you guys chose
reason.
colors as opposed to like A and B. Or
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's one of the points. Like,
varsity and junior varsity.
Equal.
Yeah. Minor league and major league. Like,
hey, but I like blue better, so that means that's the better stream.
I'm colorblind and can't see. No, I don't know. But no, I like that.
Someone suggested colors, and I thought I was really boring.
You didn't like it?
No, it's.
I think it works.
I don't know. I think it's okay.
MLG have like all blue and red.
Red stream and blue stream. Yeah, I don't know. I think it works.
But then someone said blue and yellow, and it's like, oh, it's in Sweden, so.
There you go. Now, I guess the question that I want to pose to you guys is just, whether it's a run or a concept that ESA is going with. What are you most excited about for ESA? Just throw some things out there, get some hype going.
I love what you guys are doing. Just, I feel like, again, taking some chances. That's been the number one thing I've tried to, I guess, push the GDQ organizers. I mean, obviously, I'm not by myself, but wanting to see them try out new things. I know you guys are you guys are doing the second stream. I think that's really cool. I love just trying a bunch. Like you're not keeping it black and white. You're trying both speed running on the second stream, and you're trying out doing just like world. There's going to be RTA attempts at one point during it. You're going to have interviews. I've heard talk of possibly doing like a pregame show. These are all ideas that the GDQs I think can very much benefit from. And if nothing else, not to make you guys seem like the guinea pigs, but we get to see you guys try it out and see how successful it is. I don't know. I think there's potential for, I'm sure some things won't work as well as you guys want it to work, but you're trying that stuff. And odds are some things are going to be successes. So.
Yeah, we're kind of taking on that role of guinea pig by ourselves, I feel like, a little bit. It's like we want to try everything so that STA knows what works. So,
sure.
I'm actually kind of hyped for, Twitch. A lot of times we criticize things that they do, things they don't do right, etc. But I don't know how recent it was that they made it so like if somebody's streaming, you can watch the VOD like 30 minutes afterwards. Like the stream doesn't even have to be done or whatever. So like where in the olden days you had to wait for the stream to get cut and then you go back and watch. So because I know I'm gonna miss like so many runs, so I'm just gonna be watching VODs like the entire time.
There you go. You'll be able to keep up right away.
I missed these 7 runs that I wanted to watch, but I'm just gonna go watch them right now. But yeah, obviously, of course, I'm excited about the second stream. Definitely, I've actually, I don't want to, give away too much or anything, but I've heard rumblings that it's going to be a little more low key on the second stream, kind of maybe like older GDQs were. So just kind of like hearkening back to those old days, and I'm a big nostalgia person, so I'm gonna definitely like. Watching that, just kind of something a little more simplistic than everything's like so advanced now. From if you go back and watch a video from like classic games done quick, you're gonna be like, what in the world?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's gonna kind of have that feel, like it'll have that smaller feel to it. I think on the second stream, and I'm really excited to kind of see that and get in touch with that and just see how people respond to that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see like the quote unquote, I know that there's supposed to be equal streams, but the one that's getting started later, the yellow stream, we'll call it the yellow stream. I would not be surprised to see that one like taking over in viewer count at times, and not necessarily just based on the game or anything like that, but maybe even just based on like the feel of it. So kind of interested to see how the numbers vary between the two streams.
Yeah, I think the goal is to have exactly the same amount of viewers on both streams at all times. But yeah, we're definitely trying not to make one stream the A stream and one the B stream.
Yeah, exactly.
That was one of my points very early to Edenal, that whatever you put on the second stream, it's gonna feel bad for that runner. It's gonna feel like he's, oh, I'm gonna have to do my run while some super hype like Super Metroid or whatever, it's on the other stream and no one's gonna watch mine. So we wanted to balance it out as much as possible.
Yeah, and I kind of think that a lot of that, while there might be some truth to it, I feel like a lot of it is maybe just, overthinking it at times too. I feel like if the games complement each other well enough, then there will be enough people watching one stream versus, if there's an RPG on one stream, there's going to be an equal number of people excited to watch the RPG as there are people who would much rather watch a platformer. And I think that just by doing this, you're kind of acknowledging, okay, well, hey, I might only have, 20,000 viewers versus 25, but at the same time, I kind of feel like that's still a lot either way. Like, I don't know. I would be excited to be on either stream there. So
that's definitely one of the main arguments I don't understand against doing a second stream is this idea, oh, we're going to split viewer counts. Well, otherwise your game wasn't going to be in the first place.
Yeah.
And you normally stream for 3 people.
Yeah.
So the 12,000 or 20,000, whatever it is. Oh man, I only got
12,000.
Like, really?
Yeah, I know. Come on, man. But
people get like that.
yeah, no, but
they have only 12,000 and the other stream has 25.
Yeah, I missed out on my
a little bit
13,000
bad.
more viewers. But
Come on.
Right.
no,
We
but
try our
I
best.
think the other thing to think about too is how many people that are just watching are planning on having both streams open the whole time. Because I know, like, when I watch it, I want to see both streams. I want to know what's going on at all times. Like, my hands
It's
up.
going to be a multi-Twitch the entire
Yeah,
time.
I got 2 monitors, and that's what I want. One on each.
And-
So
And in the course of like maybe one of the, not just the GDQ, but like in past single stream marathons, I've had stretches where I've almost looked at the schedule and said, I know I'm not going to be watching during that. Having these two completely different streams going on at the same time gives me this like excitement where I want to have both of them over the entire time. I'm gonna bounce back and forth, just kind of see what's going on board, seeing the dynamic of watching a run happen on blue stream and then an interview with that runner on yellow stream right afterwards. This like constant, your NFL red zones, these like package channels.
a picture in a picture or whatever, yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I definitely think it's exciting.
I will say though, scheduling this stuff is not easy.
No. Yeah, big shout outs to the
Oh, no.
organizers. But
Like, oh my god! And then you have it like perfect, and everyone on the team is like, okay, this is good. We can release this. You release it, and then someone is like, well, I won't be there that day. Okay, we can move that.
oh no, so then the shuffle begins. You gotta.
And then, like, 5 people drop out for unknown reason. Like, oh, I can't come, or I don't have money, or whatever. So, okay, then we need to find replacement runs and then fit them into the spots where the other runs were in. Like, the best example I have is like Hercules dropped out from the yellow stream. It was supposed to be really early on the yellow stream. And it's like an hour-long Disney game, and it's like a Disney block that opens the yellow stream. So we had to find an hour-long other Disney game to fill it. And luckily, we had a guy offer Donald Duck something, Quack Attack, I think it was, that fits like perfectly. So yeah.
There you go.
But
I want to ask you a question. Because you guys are doing 2 streams, I know this isn't planned, but just like in the future, would you ever even think about doing this? Like, the biggest race that we've ever seen is like in a marathon. I think it's just a 4-person race. Would you ever want to do like a huge like
I love that idea
race or something and just
there is gonna be like a
Go ahead.
there's gonna be like a 4-11 or something co-op run of Swap 4. And the plan from the beginning was that we were gonna have like some people on the second stream and some people on the first stream. But to sync that, like when the event is live, is pretty much impossible. You don't know how far behind schedule you're gonna be. So
that's true.
then you have to have like a set.
Yeah,
time.
there you go. Kick off the marathon.
Lead off the marathon with a huge 8-way race.
8-way like because I know you guys had like 5 or 6 offers for 120 star this year, and it was like, we might have to kick 1 or 2 of these out. I was thinking, what is the potential for go get 2 other scrubs and make this like an 8-way?
Call up Spike Vegeta, and he's got his 70 star ready to go.
Oh, I've got it.
I'll be in there. Hey, if there's enough other screens around me, they won't notice, right? Like, let's do it. But
it was definitely something we discussed.
Hurry up, you're putting us behind
we're
schedule.
trying.
Come on.
I'm gonna need
already,
L to update.
Well, in any case, I think just by starting off with the second stream, you're opening up this new realm of possibilities, and what we might see in the future. Who knows? Maybe we see a team blackout bingo Ocarina of Time, or we see a relay 120, or who knows? But
I think on the second stream.
On the second stream, yeah, that's correct. But I just like this idea of like there is the possibility that both streams could somehow converge at some point and participate together. I also
might be possible to like have set times, but we tried that at DreamHack, but we was kind of forced. Like at DreamHack, we had the arena for from this hour to this hour, so we had to cut games that we weren't gonna be able to finish them before we had to move to the arena. So we cut some games like live.
Oh, okay.
It's not a nice.
No. I will say it too, like really quickly. One other thing that I really like about this schedule is just the variety. It almost feels like some of the blocks that are out there are more of like panels than speedruns, and I like that. I like there's a kind of a task tutorial going on at one point. There's I believe kind of a whole rhythm or music game section with song requests that people can donate for.
Yeah, we have Audio Surf and Rock Band that somehow ended up in the morning, which isn't like the most logical place, but yeah, we want, yeah.
But I mean, it's just different ideas and trying different things to see what works. I like that. It's fresh. I'm excited to see what happens. So
yeah, and one of the other things we've tried to do is split up the blocks. We don't have very big blocks of anything anymore. Like I think the classic Mega Man block is like the biggest one that we have.
So traditionally in GDQs, if there's Mario games, they're all in one spot. If it's Zelda games, they're all in one spot. You guys kind of took a different approach and said, hey, maybe somebody wants to watch a Zelda game on a Monday, and maybe they want to watch one on a Thursday. Like maybe.
Yeah, I think we have 5 Zelda games, and none of them are next to each other, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's interesting.
And we have one, I think, yeah, Zelda 2. We have almost opening this blue stream. It's one of the first games, and then the last game is a Zelda game too. So we have spread everything out as good as possible.
Kind of some symmetry there. Yeah. Start it and finish.
Because we wanna try to see if we can sort of. It almost always feels like it starts out really hype, and then there's sort of a dip, and then it builds up towards the end, and then we have like all the big games at the end. So if you're like, oh, I'm out of town that day or something, and I have to work that day, then you miss all the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to spread it out.
You want people constantly coming back too. I mean, it kind of encourages you to come back every day because you're gonna miss something if you're gone a day. That's kind of cool.
Also trying to split up the series between the streams as well, like GTA. We have GTA games on both streams. So, if you like this GTA run, you might want to watch the next one on the yellow stream tomorrow or whatever.
Okay, sure. Any other thoughts on ESA, guys? Otherwise, we'll move on. I'm sure the chat has questions too.
I can say what I'm most hyped about.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't find out about this until like a few days ago, but apparently there's some guy that has created sort of like hype small movies for every single game on the schedule. Whoa. That's gonna be played during setup.
Whoa.
For that
so they're gonna hype up each game with a video?
Yeah, it's sort of like a small music clip and some graphics and stuff, and then it's like the runner and the estimate, and then
on both streams.
I think so. Yeah, I haven't seen all of them.
Wow, that's really cool.
That's insane.
If they can make that work, that's gonna be amazing.
So it's just gonna be kind of like a short, like 5-second like highlight, or like what does it look like?
Not really a highlight. It's more like just some graphics from the game.
Okay.
Some music.
Sure.
No, that's really cool.
I think actually Sven uploaded one to the Ledendi YouTube channel. I can find it.
Oh, we have an example here. Maybe I can put it on the stream here if I can fetch it fast enough. Let me see here. All right, I've got one here. I can maybe squeeze this onto stream.
Which one is that? I don't recognize it.
I guess.
Oh, that's the intro. Wait, I find it.
Is this not the right one? Am I showing the wrong thing here?
I don't know what that is. You can show that one too.
All right, I'm gonna try to show this. I don't know if I have enough.
It probably didn't hurt to show it.
Yeah, I don't know if I have enough room for it. Let me back up the video here a little bit. That'll give me some room. All right, let's see if we can sneak peek here. Take a look at what this is all about. This might be really loud, by the way.
Yeah, we don't get to hear it. We just get to see it.
Alright, so we got kind of like a Rubik's Cube thing going on here.
This is almost Gilder-esque.
I was about to say, this is the Sunday sequence.
And I don't know if you guys can hear it, but there's some happening music going on right now. I would use the word happening to describe it.
You are 60.
I am living in this old speedrunning town.
You're taken over as old man on
That's
this show.
yeah. That's not a good sign.
I'm losing my title.
There you go.
You're young and hip.
Yeah. Old man.
Live from Sweden, it's the European Speedster Assembly 2014. Oh, the music stops. Like I was trying to go along with it. It was pretty hype, but I'm excited.
Pretty hype.
That's hey.
Good stuff.
It's something like that for each game. Between each. Yeah, I've only seen first 80 of them.
Oh, okay.
So,
You're watching like every
There
one.
are at least 80. That is
Wow.
crazy.
I can tell that some of them were created before certain people dropped out as well, so they might need to be updated.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many ideas like that floating around. That's we're gonna have the yellow stream restreamed on the blue stream when it's nothing else on the yellow stream and stuff like that. It's probably gonna happen like right on site.
Okay.
If it's gonna happen at all. So yeah.
Well, hey, I gotta say, overall, I think I'm really excited now. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if that didn't hype you guys up in the chat. I don't know what you're looking for. So, let's move on though, and we'll give guys in the chat a chance to ask questions in just a second here. But first, we got to make fun of somebody. So, actually, Jorf made fun of it himself this week. It's time for Glitch Please, and I guess those of us in the chat are gonna or in the call are gonna be quiet for this one and let Jorf explain it.
What? That bullet guy was so out of place. What the f going on? Hello? What is going on? Why is everything just like misplaced slightly? What? Damn it! I can still see you down there. I couldn't do that because the bullet was like out of place. What the hell? What? No! What? What happened?
Oh man.
That
What
payoff is
happened?
so good.
What the
Oh my goodness. He did something to the game there, and just everything was shifted.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, but I
Awesome.
believe it. I believe it.
Awesome. I love it.
That was really interesting. Probably one of the better ones we've ever had. That was really good.
Yeah.
Just a reminder again, I know I plugged it earlier in the show, but if you guys have anything interesting like that happen while you're playing a game, send it to our inbox and give us a short description along with either a Twitch or a YouTube highlight. We'll take either one. Doesn't really matter. So, and of course, just again to quickly plug, follow us on Twitter. You'll know when we go live. We'll talk about our guests as we find out who they are as well. YouTube is where we put all of our old videos, and Twitch is where you hopefully are right now, because if you're watching it on something else, it's not the official version. I don't know. It's being restreamed on Ustream. I don't know. Somebody wants viewers. Like, I might as well take that final split show. I don't know.
Sick.
Anyway, let's move on. It's time for Q&A with the chat. It's time for the boss rush.
All right. Time for pocket questions.
All right, who saved one?
Come on,
We got-
Spike. I know you got one.
Dude, is this one
Is this
me?
the week where
Okay.
both of you guys didn't save a question?
This is hey, I've been lazy about it because Sinister
You're just relying on him.
literally always has one.
All right. Well, I have a question. If neither of you have a
Okay.
question.
All right, here we go.
All right, Joka, give me one runner that none of us know, but everybody's going to know after ESA. Do you have one in mind? Who is
Not
it?
That's a tough question, dude.
It is. Yeah.
I
Who's
usually
like?
give people stuff a little easier than that.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
thought maybe there'd be some insight here. Like, I want the hot tips. Like, who's the guy that I'm,
Right. Yeah,
under the radar at the moment? But
what to watch for.
yeah, I think we might have just. That might have been an
I think
unfair
there's
question.
something, dude.
That wasn't fair. I'm never asking a question again.
I
Yeah.
want to say bad
You're
break.
terrible.
People know bad breaks and infested ridge.
Well, I think I mean, I think a lot of people in the community know bad
Sure.
breaks, but on the larger scale,
Yeah,
that's a good
fine.
call. I like that. Yeah, the general, you know,
Those two.
Bad breaks.
I think that's like their first ESA too.
Okay.
They were both at DreamHack, but other than that, they haven't done any live events.
Listen,
I want to say.
love talking to Bad Breaks at the DreamHack.
Yeah, we had him on the
I
show.
thought he was really good. Yeah, really cool energy. I look forward to seeing his runs at ESA.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that can talk, even in English. He just doesn't shout.
Just keeps going. All right, let's see here. We got some questions. Okay, from 99 Winters, what is one thing you wish people knew about speedrunning that isn't apparent to the casual observer?
Is that a general question,
Goddamn
man?
That's anybody can take that, sure.
Okay,
How
okay.
hard-
Give it.
What is it, Joka?
How hard it is.
How hard it is.
Yeah.
Because I thought when I watched like first like AGDQ 11, I thought you learned it stuff and you did it every time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just know how to do stuff, and I just do that every time. Then
I'll tell you one thing that I found was when I first started watching, I remember thinking, oh, these guys always have these consistent setups. And, you know, like OOT, you would pause buffer for the longest time, right? Like everybody pause buffer to set up things. And I just remember thinking, like, as a viewer, it frustrated me. Like, oh, you could do it so much faster if you went for the inconsistent, you know, just like, I'm going to get it. You know, I'm going for it. And then, like, as a runner, you start to value those setups more than, you know, the viewer who doesn't know that, oh, if I miss it, I lose the run or I lose this much time. It's just, as a viewer, it's very easy to look at something and say, well, you could do it if you just went for it. And then you kind of know your limits as the runner.
My biggest thing is actually bouncing off what Sinister said 2 years ago at AGDQ 2013.
What?
I think it was was referencing what you said at AGDQ 2013 about after you did your Mike Tyson's Punch Out run. There was the book being made. How a lot of people watch a run and they think, oh, you're the guy. You're the guy who does it.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, you remember this. Yeah, you're the
now
guy.
I remember.
You're the person who does everything. You came up with everything. You routed the game. You know, it's basically your firstborn. You created it.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And you're
I
the one who does
programmed the game.
Yeah,
That's right.
When in reality, there's, you know, a whole slew of, you know, Ocarina of Time. People thought for a second, or thought for a while, that it was Cosmo who ran that game and did everything with it. In reality, there's hundreds of people behind him who all made that game what it is, and that's true for most most of the speedrunning communities out there. There are communities, and it's not the one person. I think a lot of people don't realize that when they watch.
Well, Spike stole mine, literally.
Dang it.
Let's see.
At least I referenced.
There you go. Yeah.
At least you gave me credit for it. I do appreciate. I was surprised that you actually remembered that, but I guess I would just say, you know, to not be intimidated by it, because I think that, like, a lot of times people will see speedruns and just never actually try it. Like, just give it a try. Like, you know, there's no harm in trying it, and you might find out, like, you're really good at it, because a lot of people just kind of watch speedruns and are like, oh yeah, this is cool, but I wouldn't be able to do that. You might be wrong.
I think, like, the classic example is, like, Krauser, who used to be a stream viewer of mine.
Right.
He would watch me do Super Metroid runs, and this is, we're talking about the same Krauser that, okay, he's competing at AGDQ.
Right.
It's like, okay, now I'm looking up to you. Like, okay, wait a minute.
Exactly.
You're way better than me, but you just got to give it a try. Get out there and do it. So, New Duo wants to know, Joka, this is very important.
I like that question.
Who's going to win the Mega Man 1 race?
Oh.
Okay, so I've gone through it with them. I'm pretty sure that Cool Kid is too rusted to win. Nadua is going to do the Wily 2 zips and soft lock the game. Dexter is going to wiggle in Iceman and reset. And Primal is going to win.
Primal's gonna... That was the best prediction we've ever had on the show. I love the bluntness of it. Just like, all right, this
is exactly what's going to happen.
Primal is going to get a terrible time, by the way, because it's not used to playing on CRT.
That's right.
He's going to get like 25 minutes, but he's going to be the only one at the finish.
Right, you just got to finish and you win, right? That's
yes.
That was really good. I think we need more predictions like that on the
Real
show.
story
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
20th.
Everybody's trying to be the diplomat when they're on the show. Like, well, I think they'll all do a great job. You know, it's
Right. Okay. Let's just keep going with it. Who's gonna win the Batman race?
there. You go.
Oh yeah.
There's a Batman race.
I'm pretty
Dexter,
sure it's a
obviously.
race, isn't it?
Is it not? I thought the same thing. I thought
Yeah, it's a race. I'm just joking.
oh,
Just messing
okay.
with you, man.
It's yeah, Dexter is gonna win.
Guy's trolling me.
Yeah, Dexter's going. I don't know, man.
You have no idea how scary Dexter is in races. Like, it's you
Dexter
have
has-
to be so much
yeah.
better than him to win.
He has the eye of the tiger, man. Dexter doesn't like to lose.
Yep.
I think if he loses the race, there might be some controllers getting thrown.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah, I was gonna
don't
say,
be
yeah.
sitting like anywhere
No.
too close in the vicinity. If he's like behind going into the final stage or something, man.
Can I then make a prediction unrelated to the actual result of the race? I think whether it is a victory or an act of sorrow, there will be alcohol consumed following the race. Like, it's either going to be a celebratory drink or it's going to be a drown in my sorrows, I took 4th place drink. But
That will be on Yellow Stream.
that'll be on the yellow stream after the race. Yeah, you can tune in.
But
Or,
let's continue. Who's gonna win the Chip and Dale race?
The Chip and Dale race.
Well, you
So
are,
who-
of course.
It's me and the dude.
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah, I
okay,
mean-
I was gonna say, who's your opponent?
I mean,
Obviously,
you
by being on the show.
yeah, you get
You're
the
going to win.
you get the
win.
final split nod. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Thank
All right. I think maybe we have time for one more here. Let's see. Robo Sparkle wants to know: would all of you agree that Tampa's Wand of Gamelon run will finally be the game that shuts people up about Ocarina of Time and Cosmo? I think that question speaks for itself.
I was going to say, I think he answered himself.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up here, guys. It is about that time, so let's go ahead and have somebody give this speech. I know the best part of the show, the part we all look forward to.
The part where
I gave it last week. I am out of the running.
You're out of the running. All right. Well, I'm not going to force it on Joka because he's been a great guest and filled us in on a lot of things. So I guess I can take the burden of responsibility if you want me to. Is that all right? All right.
We'll let you do it.
Let's see. It's been a while. Let's see. Let's see. I got my notes here. All right. In the year 2014, several talented speedrunners did descend upon Sweden. Their quest to entertain, to amuse, to enlighten. But all of that couldn't be possible without those who wanted it to happen. And this, by the way, has no words on it. I'm just making it up as I go. This is I did not prepare notes. This is
bragging,
a
dude.
drawing here. We got like a
I know.
I drew a little like Pokemon card on here before the stream because I've been playing Pokemon trading card game. I got nothing. I'm making it all up. What I want to say ultimately is that I hope you all watch ESA. You give it the same chance you gave a GDQ if you've never seen it before. It'll be completely different but entirely the same at the same time. That's too deep for me to try and explain any further than that. But you're gonna feel at home when you watch it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, treat it like a GDQ. Try to get everyone watching it. Get it out on social media. Tweet about it. Just get people excited about it. Because I'm really excited to see just all the different things they're going to be trying out. Not just the different games they're giving opportunity to use, more different kinds of content. We're going to get freaking Rock Band. Like, we're going to get more casual stuff. We're going to have different energies for 2 full streams. I don't know. If you got the hype bug, please spread it.
Yeah. So finally, before we
Right.
take off, Joka, do you want to just remind people the details of ESA? Just give them the quick. What days are we? When are we starting? When does it go till?
Starting Sunday, 27th of July, 2014,
Okay.
which is this Sunday.
And the first run is
13:15 Central European time.
all right, which I think is something like
It's like
7:15 in the morning Eastern. I want to say, if my math's right.
Sure.
It's too much math for me. I'm not awake enough. But yeah, it's early
do
morning
something
in the
like that.
States. You'll already be awake. Won't have to worry about it. And it looks like you guys are doing
That's the pre-show.
the pre-show. That's right. First run is looks like 8 Eastern.
Yep.
So there we go.
And
Awesome.
it goes on until early Sunday morning next
Okay.
week.
Spike, do you want to get us a raid target here quick? That would be great.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, and I just want to remind everybody that's watching our show, we don't usually do this on Wednesday nights. We usually are a Saturday night show, so this is kind of an exception. Our next show then is going to be not this Saturday, but the Saturday after that, so August 2nd, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Also,
and we may have a guest that may or may not be a marathon organizer. Maybe.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll see.
What's up, Choka?
also don't forget about the Mega Man relay race right after ESA.
Oh, you should plug that, yes. Give us the dates.
Yeah, dude.
Classic Mega Man relay race number 3, August 16th, the same day I think as the AUDQ submissions opens.
So, okay, so get your submissions in, and then go watch the relay race, or, you know,
Yep.
watch the relay race, then get your submissions in.
Also, someone please learn Mega Man 9 so we can have 3 teams.
There we go. All right. I don't. Used Pizza's been wanting to teach me more about 6. Maybe I'll just have him flip the number upside down. He can teach me 9 instead, and we'll be good to go.
There we go.
I'm sure he'd love that. That's all right. Will we find our raid target?
Yeah, we got a raid target. I feel like we've maybe done this guy before, but he is one of my favorite streams that just nobody knows about, really. I mean, we know about him, but could use a lot more
DBX.
support.
DBX.
Yeah, for those that don't know,
Get in
DBX, Super Metroid player, but also running Super Castlevania 4 recently. I think he
Killing
just
it.
found a really consistent zip.
Yes, he did.
So that's helping out some of the other runners as well. He made a tutorial for that. So get on over
C
there.
hype. I think you meant ESA hype, but
No, I meant C.
He's going with C
That's
hype.
C hype.
All right.
I saw Dave the Fade post that. We're doing C hype.
All right, guys. That's it. We're cutting it. That's enough. Just remember that your run is not over until you hit the final split. We'll see you guys in August. Have an enjoyable ESA.